Hoka, hey, Alita Army. Welcome to the Alita live stream of August the 19th, 2022. What could Alita do other than Motorball or Hunter Warrior, where we discuss all things to do with the movie Alita Battle Angel, the source manga Gundam, and the greatly desired sequels. I am your host, the Muskogee Creek from the U.S. In Denver, Colorado. And with us, we have Alejandro from Colombia. How's it going, Alejandro?
Okay, hey, Alita Army. Very well,
Yes.
thank you. From Bogota, Colombia. Thank you so
All
much.
right. Yeah. And I should have said Buenos Dias, but I didn't
Ah,
say that.
no, in this
Oh,
in
well.
this moment, the salute is Buenas tardes.
Buenos
Good
tardes.
afternoon.
That's right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's right. Well, my Spanish could use some work, I think. So,
But I'm sure it could be great and upgrading every time. If you see and down second season, I think you can upgrade it very good.
oh, yeah. Well, we're going to talk about that very briefly here in a little while. I've invited some other folks on, but I've been kind of distracted lately. So anyway, I've kind of sent them some late invites, but I did put a link in the chat. If you want to come on and join us, by all means, click on that link, and you can come on and talk about Alita. And you're not limited to the primary topic here. Anything you want to talk about Alita, we can definitely talk about. And Angelus is asking a very important question. How do you say I love Alita in Spanish?
Oh, very good question. Yo amo a Alita.
Du amo Alita. Yeah, okay, yeah, cool. So, and in German, it's Ich liebe Alita. So, anyway, all means
Okay,
the same thing. We all love Alita. That's for sure. So,
sure.
so how you doing, Alejandro?
Oh, very well, thank you. I'm very motivated for the question that you proposed for this live stream. I think it's very interesting and very hard question to think about.
Well, I've definitely. Oh, we got Chaos Nova just come on. How you doing, Chaos?
Very well.
Very good, very good. Chaos is from Mentor, Ohio, in the U.S. So anyway, so we got an international stream going on here. Well, we always have an international stream, so there you have it. So our co-host Angelus is having to work today, and we also just had joining us Safani Sung. How's it going, Safani?
I like Kraken, very good. Pretty good for me myself, Kate.
Cool. Yeah, Safani Sung is in California. So anyway, that's he's out west here with me. So anyway, or actually he's further west than I am. So anyway.
It's in north and south in California.
Yeah, Southern California? Yeah, okay.
I'm from north.
Oh, Northern California. That's right. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
saying that one time before. Yeah, when I was a very young lad, I actually lived for a little while in La Puente, California, which is down near Los Angeles. So about probably 30 miles east of Los Angeles, I guess.
I was from Stockton.
Yeah. Oh, Stockton. Yeah, I've been there. That's out there. Yeah, that's kind of out east of San Francisco there. I can't remember the name of the road. That's beautiful country out there. And yeah, my late stepfather is from Stockton, California. So anyway, or was from Stockton, California. So yeah, yeah,
That's nice, Kate. That's cool.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so Chaos, how are you doing?
Pretty well.
Yeah, sorry I couldn't join your stream. I kind of got some things going here I got to take care of, or else I would have joined for sure, So
It's okay. I was planning to do a future one on, say, a Saturday, maybe.
Oh, okay. That might work. Yeah. And
but Jerome and I had a nice time that night, just watching Cowboy Bebop, the first episode.
Yeah.
I'm going to edit it down a little bit, but our little hangout is going to be up. So.
Okay. Nice. Okay. All right. So I guess all the introductions out of the way there. Let's go ahead and get to it. But before we get into the main topic, one of the things I do want to bring up, and I just put a link down in the description, is that, of course, we got Alita Day coming up on November. Come on, Creek, get your head in the game. September the 9th, because it's 9/9, of course. And right now, Charlie Smith and I and Vladi also we're all trying to, see if we can get a 1/4 page ad in the LA Times, the Los Angeles Times, about Alita and trying to get Alita sequel and about Alita Day and that sort of stuff. This is a poster that I kind of proposed, although the problem with this one, of course, would be if you're going to put it in the Times, if this is it may be copyrighted, and if it is, they're not going to print it. So we do have 2 or 3 other posters that we're working on, to get ready for that. And I'm going to call a fellow that's actually a senior marketing guy, I guess, or not marketing, accounts guy or whatever at the LA Times on Monday. He was out of the office this week, so I couldn't get in touch with him. I did send him an email and a text, and I think Charlie Smith sent him an email. And he responded to Charlie's email. I guess that shows you who he thinks is important, but that's okay. And he was real excited about, doing something for Alita Day. So, that's the positive thing. So anyway, I hope to talk to him on Monday and get things going. Now, what we do have here is a fundraiser. And down in the description, I actually put a link down there. It's a GoFundMe page. And, if you want to help us support, getting that LA Times ad going and want to help us support Alita Day on September the 9th, you can, please donate there at that GoFundMe page, and no amount is too small. So, and we appreciate any amount. So, and that would be a plus on that one, And just to mention, I guess, part of this whole process, of course, is going to be the petition, and there's currently over 176,000 signatures on the petition. If you haven't signed, please go and do that. And I haven't added that yet. I'm going to add that to the description too, so you can check back on the stream a little while later, and then click on that if you want to. If you have not signed the petition, please do that.
I was going to ask. I know this might be a little tangential, but Creek, have they given you a community tab yet?
I'm saying
on YouTube. On YouTube, you have a community channel.
Yes.
A community tab.
Yes.
It shows up on your feed when you put posts on, so it can make your various things more visible. So
okay.
Just asking. You can easily just share your video or something.
Okay.
Or even just pictures if you want.
Yeah. Maybe we can put that on there too. Although maybe we could do that on the Alita Army, the official channel, because they got more followers than I've got. Although we are fastly.
I can still repost what you post too, because I'm also a community member.
Okay, cool.
All 3 can post the same thing.
All right, cool. Okay, I'll get on it then. Sounds good. So anyway, but like I was saying, go to this website, and I promise during the course of the evening, I will put that down in the description as well, and you'll be able to click on it. You just have to refresh your screen, or refresh your monitor or whatever, or if you got a tablet, whatever.
And that's the thing you could put a picture on your community tab and just say, hey, this is what's going on.
Cool. Well, we'll do it.
I mean, they only do like a fully interactive link unless you're monetized, but you should be able to copy paste a link.
Okay. We'll do that too then. So anyway, what the goal is, of course, is to get 200,000 signatures is what we really want. Now, already we've got more signatures than the Snyder Cut got. So, that's a plus there, but we want to even further knock it out of the park, as they say in baseball terms, for those of you, or for you cricket fans, hit for 6. So anyway, that's what we want to do on that one. So, and I guess just to replug this, I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, but both of these series are worth a watch. Undone is season 2. I highly recommend you watch season 1 first if you haven't watched it, because it'll be a little confusing. The ending will be a little confusing if you don't watch season 1 first, but you won't regret watching season 1 and then watching season 2. I remember when I watched season 1, I couldn't watch it all in one time, but I had it watched in 2 days, and I couldn't stop watching it. And then season 2, a little bit different because I had a couple of things going on there, but I actually watched it in 4 days on that one. So it is a good series. You want to watch that. And also Salvage Marines is very good. Our other girl, Elle Lamont, is in that, and she plays a squad boss, which would be kind of like a corporal or a sergeant in the military, and she heads up a squad, of course, and in the Salvage Marines themselves, and she does a good job on that one. So that's worth the watch. It's got a great story in it. It's got some good actors in it, and like Casper Von Dien, for sure, he's good. And of course, our other girl, Elle Lamont, is good too. So that's also highly recommended by the Creek. Okay, anything else before we get into the main topic, guys? Okay, let's get into the main topic then. Now, here's some of the stuff that I thought of that Alita could do if she wasn't playing Motorball as a professional motorballer, or she wasn't a hunter warrior. And some of this is certainly based on the manga. Now there may be some others. This is not an all-inclusive list. And certainly those of you in the chat, if you can think of something else that maybe you read something in the manga or even saw something in the anime that would suggest that Alita could do that as a job, or maybe some other, maybe as volunteer work or whatever, put that in the chat, and we'll bring that up too and discuss it. Certainly we know now that picture you see there, that small picture, that's her on the moon. Obviously, I couldn't find a really good picture. I looked and looked for that one picture for that video that Kraken actually did a voiceover on. I could not find that thing to save my life. But anyway, certainly she's wearing a spacesuit, so I guess that's pretty close to being an astronaut. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. You see her as a bartender there. That's in the Creek's bar. So, but anyway, she could definitely do that for sure. And of course, being a regular in the Kansas bar in the manga there, for at least in the early volumes, she was a regular. Certainly that would be something that she could learn to do. And most definitely she could be a martial arts instructor. And I think Angelus, if Alita was real and started teaching Panzer Kunst classes or just general martial arts self-defense, I bet Angelus would be in that class faster than you could go sideways, I guess. So, and she'd be great at showing you techniques and things like that. Certainly, she could be a musician, and in the manga, of course, we saw her playing keyboards and singing in the manga itself, and she may even be able to play the guitar. I know Kraken did a drawing one time of her playing the guitar, and there was even another drawing or artwork of her playing the violin. So I'm not sure about that, if that was in the manga or not. But and definitely we know she can play the harmonica, because that's when she was going to the Badlands, when she was on that nuclear train, or what they called the atomic train, which is kind of an old term, I guess, atomic. But anyway, she was playing when she met Figure 4, she was playing the harmonica, and she could play that thing. That pirate thing is one I thought was kind of silly and funny, so I put that in there. But there's a picture of her dressed up as, I will call her Captain Alita Sparrow. So anyway, that's kind of the thing there. And then definitely to kind of stay in line a little bit with Radio Chaos tomorrow, Alita could be a waitress. She definitely could do that. I mean, certainly in the Kansas bar, she could do that. So there's 6, possible jobs that Alita could do if she did not want to continue with her motorball career, which evidently she doesn't, and, or if she's not going to play pro motorball itself, or if she doesn't want to be a hunter warrior.
There's also the Gladiator, if you don't remember that. I know the whole mention of the Coliseum is brief, and then there was Volume 7 where Den split a guy in half.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, she could definitely be a gladiator. That's for sure.
although the Colosseum in the manga does have size classes, but I'm pretty sure she'd be fine with that.
Yeah, I think so. So anyway, any other thoughts about any of these 6 or anyone? We mentioned gladiator. Of course, she could be in the intelligence community. She worked in the Tuned program as a troubleshooter. She's kind of like a James Bond type thing or Jason Bourne thing. I guess shooting trouble, as they would say. Yeah, Angela said Alita could be his sensei. Now, Angelus, you know what's going to happen. If you start sparring her, she's probably not going to go easy on you. So you're going to learn some hard lessons, but you will definitely learn how to fight. If she's your sensei for sure. Anything else there, guys?
I would like to add another job.
Okay.
Based in some highlights that we can check in the film. First of all, Alita is a girl who doesn't like to be in closed spaces, like only in a clinic, doing repetitive things like passing tools to Dr. Ito, or maybe like a little assistant, right? She's
Yeah.
bored. Yes, you can check it in the face doing that thing with a very strong restrictions. So for
Yeah.
that thing, I believe that she needs a job with an open space
Yeah.
and an open uh, way that she can do displacement for different places and go for anywhere she wants at any time. So that is
Okay.
the first thing, okay?
Yeah.
The second things that I think to highlight is that she wants to check the truth, to check the source of the reasons of why things are happening. For instance, in the first scene that Dr. Ito is repairing the worker without arms and legs, she doesn't want to know about the technical things. She wants to know what is the reason that anyone wants their arms and legs.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so she wants to get the truth, the source of the motivation of the actions.
Yeah.
And another aspect that she has the curiosity to find what is the truth about the Dr. Ito going at night. That's very dangerous in Island City. To follow Dr. Ito to find the truth about her night activities. For that reasons, I believe she could be a very good private investigator.
Yeah, yeah, I think she could. I don't know how good she is at problem solving. I know we've talked about that in the past. That she's, that intuition would be her strong suit. Because she does seem to have that ability. But she's not stupid. That's for sure. But yeah, that's a possibility. And just to kind of follow on to one of your points, she could be a physician's assistant. She could do that because particularly in the novelization, Ito, actually showed her, kind of gave her a job, I guess, although they didn't go into it too deeply into that, uh, about her continuing that work for very long, but she could do it because she was actually learning that. Now, Byron Rudrose said she could be a dog walker. Oh yeah, that's something I hadn't thought of. I mean, she liked that little stray, and of course those. I assume that those dogs that McTeague / Murdoch had probably had bonded with Alita at some level because they went down in the underworld and kind of went after Gruishka at one point. Of course, they were following their master, but yeah, she could be a dog walker. There's no doubt about it because she loves dogs. So for sure, By the way, Angelus, when we were talking about about him being Alita being his sensei and that kind of thing, he says he needs a cyber body anyway. Of course, him sparring with Alita, he's probably going to lose body parts, so he could get a cyber body that way, I guess. So anyway, so any other thought, guys, before I go directly into these 6?
I would like to add another, like scientific research. The base of this proposal is that she have the capability to communicate with the armed ship. You remember when she's a very special interaction between the intelligence of the ship with her, so she can to activate all the specific subsystems of this ship, and to get information very important, like for instance the code that he used to disable the camp of energy to get the berserker body. And I think in that ship there could be a very good scientific information that she can get that, and to share with Dr. Ido to develop new procedures to repair the cyborg's body of the people in Iron City.
Yeah, that's a good point. And Hybrid brings up that she could also be a rescue worker. And another one I just thought of that I should have thought of right away, 2 of them, she could be a deep sea diver. Remember, she had to dive. She had to, jump in the water and walk for a long period of time underwater. In other words, they were asking how long can she hold her breath, And then, of course, she could be a salvage professional of some sort, maybe even be in the salvage Marines, in that universe. So, yeah, and of course, Angelus says she could be in emergency services. She could do that. Yeah, that would be something that would be, she could extrapolate from her hunter-warrior experience in some ways. So, so she could be either a combat paramedic, like you said, because in the novelization, she actually repairs Ito's arm, or his shoulder, I guess, when Romo sliced his shoulder. She actually stitched him up. So, there she had that. Or certainly could be a firefighter if she's in emergency services. So, yep. Yeah, that's right, Angelus. Okay, guys, anything before we go into any of these other... Okay, well, here's one astronaut. Certainly, she has experience with space travel, doesn't she? I mean, she's gone from Mars to Earth. She's gone to Venus. She's gone to Jupiter. Although with Jupiter, I think she went through a portal for that one. At least her consciousness or whatever, when she was blown to bits in the Zot and came back instantaneously, I guess. So, but yeah, she's very familiar with space travel itself. Particularly going from Mars to Earth, because she had to ride some kind of space vehicle to get from Mars to Earth when she was fighting for the military, in the fall. And she does have experience, as Angela says, that she does have experience in zero-G environments. Certainly, having trained in those zero-G chambers, and how to fight in there. Certainly, she can adapt some of those abilities that she learned, in those chambers to help her, with space travel itself. Another thing that she's uniquely, I guess, set up for that humans can't really do in space travel that well is that when humans are in space for a long period of time, their muscles and their bones start to atrophy and decay and stuff like that because they don't have gravity, and that's one
right. However, in the thing, it's kind of clear that they do have craft a centripetal acceleration inside of it in the manga series.
Yeah, that's right. It's spinning, so they can feel it. But she could actually be in zero-G for long periods of time because she doesn't have flesh muscles. She's got, cyborg. She's a cyborg. So she's not going to be as susceptible to zero G complications that a human would have because she doesn't have the same kind. She doesn't have that human body. Now we've discussed in the past, she is a human. There's no doubt. She's very human, but being a cyborg kind of gives her the ability to stay in space and even in zero G environments for a very long time. So that also makes her suitable for being an astronaut. So in other words, if she had to do like a spacewalk or something like that, where there is no gravity, where she's outside the ship, trying to repair something or whatever, she could stay out there for a very long time, as long as she had air to breathe, because she would need air.
Right. However,
Brain.
the atrophy thing is for when you're out for, say, weeks, like when someone's took a trip to Mir or the International Space Station.
Yeah.
I mean, the spacewalks is usually 5 to 7 hours. That doesn't atrophy you by itself.
Yeah, that's right.
I do. But what you see from the URM things is they obviously have much slimmer spacesuits, probably because they don't need to use as much oxygen for a given amount of time. Yeah. Even in the manga, you see that the people from Earth seem to have, the regular non-cyborgs have bulkier suits.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. As a matter of fact, when she was fighting on the moon, wasn't she? Those folks in the Earth military, they were in different space suits.
The movie, according to the movie, it's called the Imperial Military, but
Imperial,
I guess they wanted to call it Empire
or something like that. Yeah,
Imperium was the term in the film, but
yeah,
I don't know what it was in the manga.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something about this kind of work in Salem. Are there any spaceship that maybe she can use or something like that?
If you go farther in the manga, there are craft, and the craft and the stations are spinning, so that they create a type of artificial gravity by spinning around.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
If you remember from Last Order, there's the part where before Aga Embody dies, he jumps out of the spinning hub into the airlock, and that's where he gets killed in zero G. Pretty awesome death.
Yeah. Yeah. If you spin
Bubba's craft and sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, that's all right. If you spin a hub at a constant rate, depending on how what the diameter is, you spin at different rates. The angular velocity will throw your body against the outer whatever that wall is, and that simulates gravity. So anyway, I guess Finestro asks, does she have a berserker body in that war on Mars? I think so. Now, who knows? We've talked about this in the past too. That there's probably different makes or models of berserker body. The one she found in the spaceship certainly was a berserker body. So, but I would say, Finestro, she does have a berserker body in that war on Mars because that ship that she went in to get to the berserker body, I didn't get the sense that body was some ultra unique type of body, because there were like 7 other kind of hooks that were hanging that would hang other berserker bodies, and that was the last one remaining. So
it's like a car.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a 2013 Impreza. There's some differences between that and like a 2012 Impreza.
Yeah, that's right. So they could have maybe some versions of it, but they're all going to be berserker bodies, and looks like we lost Chaos. And of course, Doc Ito didn't want to give her that berserker body. Yeah, he knew it was a berserker body, first of all, and he thought that if he put her in the berserker body, she'd turn into a monster. Of course, she didn't. She was still her. There's Chaos. He's back. So, you dropped out there, Chaos.
There's a flash out. When it blacks out, power blacks out temporarily, it's back on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, cool. So anyway, guys, what any of you, what are your thoughts about Alita being an astronaut? Would she just be like a passenger, or do you think she would have a more active role in piloting or navigation or something other function on the ship?
Space Marine.
Yeah, yeah,
I think she can have some instruction in the arm chip. Maybe she can get that information and can manipulate table controls like she used to recover the berserker body. And I think she's very intelligent and have the capability to understand very fast, very technical aspects of how to drive a spaceship. I think so. I think it can be more than a warrior. It can be a pilot too, I think.
yeah. It's funny you mentioned that, Alejandro. I actually did a video, I guess, about a year ago, where she rescues Grogu. And my first version of that was her flying an X-wing. So anyway, a lot of folks got a big kick out of that one. So
Oh, I have to see that. I'm going to looking for.
yeah, if you go on my page, just type in the search, the little search engine, not the one at the top, but the one for the page. Just type in Alita rescues Grogu, and you'll see two instances pop up on that. So the longer one is the one where she flies the X-wing.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Any other thoughts about her being an astronaut, guys? Do you think she would if she was a pilot? She would probably pilot a ship that would be like smaller in scale, don't you think? I mean, I don't see her piloting a starship. I don't see that.
Well, I mean, it works. You just have roles such as helmsman or helmsman captain, and the various officers.
Yeah, she could learn that for sure. She could learn that. She could learn communications. She could learn being a helmsman, like you said. She'd be great as a security officer, I think. So, but as her being, say, the captain of a starship, let's say that, I'm not sure she has the right kind of experience for that.
She's not exactly commanding officer material.
Yeah.
She usually takes orders from other characters throughout the manga when it comes to that.
Oh, Angela said she could be a gunner. Yeah, she could definitely do that. And of course, Finestro asked, when was she an astronaut? Can she fly a spaceship? I don't recall. We're actually speculating here, Finn. I don't recall seeing her in the manga or in Mars Chronicles or in The Last Order, her actually piloting a spaceship. The reason why we think she is, or why we're speculating on that, is because of that one flashback scene. Well, there's two flashback scenes. One, of course, in the zero-G gravity chamber, but the other one when she was on Earth, and the other when she's on the moon. She had to get there, somehow. So at the very least, we know she has experience on a spaceship because she had to get from Mars to Earth. We just don't know in what capacity. And in terms of flying a spaceship, my sense is that she could probably fly maybe a smaller spaceship, maybe a landing craft or something like that, or maybe a ship they would use for a reconnaissance or something like that, or to maybe pilot something like that to maybe bring a squad or a platoon of
or like as you said, like it's a small ship, like an X-wings airplane of the Star Wars or something like that. Okay.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, you could be right about that, Alejandro. Although she doesn't strike me as a fighter pilot, she could be. I mean, if she's a cyborg and she has very fast reactions and she's not stupid, she could learn to do it. So, yeah, but I think she would need specific training for that. But I think she would pick it up pretty fast, though, for sure. But yeah, we don't have any concrete evidence, in the manga, certainly, that that she can fly a spaceship. We're just speculating. So my sense is yes.
Well, she was a spaceship essentially. Think of it as small troopers, jumping out of the ship and attacking ships.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think she could do something.
But that's kind of like what you call a space marine, though.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think you're right on that one. So, but anyway, she could definitely be an astronaut, though. Now, in some cases, she would need some training, for sure. Just like she had to be trained on how to, in Panzerkunst how to be, in the military. She had to be trained to do it. Because she was trained. There's a backstory of that's on YouTube about the war, the Great War of the Fall. If you go to YouTube and you type in something like Great War of the Fall, then you just type in Alita, and there's somewhere that thing will come up, and so you'll see some of that, in there, So we're very, very speculative on this one. But yeah, we think she can pilot some spaceships anyway. Maybe not captain of a starship or something, but definitely could pilot smaller ships, I would think.
Maybe Alita, no, but Rosa Salazar, she could. She was a captain of the Enterprise.
Well, that wasn't the Enterprise, yeah, was it? That was that ship she was on. It was a medical ship, wasn't it, or something like that? I can't remember. Where they had all the tribbles on there. Yeah, that was. I really enjoyed that. That episode was called "The Trouble with Edward." And
Yes.
that's a Star Trek short. So hey,
short treks, right?
Yeah, our I guess.
Yeah, I remember tribbles.
Yeah.
They just replicate.
Well, this is true. Obi-Wan Kenobi piloted a fighter craft, but he wasn't considered a fighter pilot. Yeah, that's a good point. Fighter pilot would be somebody that would be expert trained in dog fighting and some other things, like that. Which I have no idea because I'm not a pilot, so I wouldn't know. But I do think she could be trained to do it. I think she definitely could because she's not stupid. She's very intelligent actually. She just had problems with her memory. She can't remember who she was, so I think she finally figures out who she is in the Last Order, or not Last Order, when she goes in meets Chaos, I guess. And he kind of sets her on that path a little bit better. She was getting flashes of it, but she starts learning more about herself, I guess. So,
that's funny.
Yeah. Any other thoughts about her being a astronaut, guys, or cosmonaut, if you want to call her that? So, or whatever they would call them on Mars. Who knows? See, one thing about Mars too is it's got like 38% the gravity of Earth, so she's very familiar with low gravity environments. And fighting on the moon. I mean, she's very familiar with that. I mean, that more so than humans. So Earthlings. I would say that.
For that reason, she could walk very well under the water to go to the armed ship, because the weight of her body into the water is less than in the typical environment. So she can manage very well gravities that they are lower than the Earth gravity.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, like you say, she's very familiar with low gravity environments for sure. And Hybrid says that being an astronaut, it would fit her perfectly because her body's made for space, And she could even be a researcher or explorer. Now, she would need training on that too. I mean, you can't, does she know physics and biology and stuff like that? Well, she could learn that. She's not dumb, but yeah, definitely could do that.
Very good point of Hybrid, sure.
Yeah. Also, Finn has a good point in terms of her being a pilot. the probably, and not just the probably the Earth's Imperial Force, probably a lot of their ships did have some automated features about them. I mean, we have that today in our airplanes. They have autopilot, and even in our cars, we have autonomous. They're starting to build autonomous cars. So,
but that's not even new. I mean,
that's right.
The jets. The jets. Even back during Desert Storm, the planes had an automated system where you could just let the dropping of the bomb be connected to your autopilot system to drop it for you.
Yeah, where you be more precise with it. Yeah, for sure. And where it would come in is if you had to go to manual mode, that's probably where she'd need the training. So.
Well, that's the thing. The thing with is you always have to be prepared to do manual. Always.
Yep, that's right. Well, like I say, she's not stupid. She would learn it. She could definitely do it. And her body's built for low gravity and outer space and stuff like that. So, she could do that. And of course, Finn says she could be like a scout or an explorer, I guess, hybrid brought up. So, yep, she could do that stuff for sure. I think with her, though, just being an explorer, I think she's kind of drawn to action. It's kind of like in the movies, where Ito told her she's drawn to conflict. Well, probably she would be drawn to any kind of action, I would think. Sometimes being an explorer, you'd see some cool stuff that would be really neat, but how much action would be in, I don't know, depending on where she'd go. But I think she'd be more suitable, or it would suit her better, I guess, if it was something that was action filled. She might like that a lot. Otherwise, she might get bored. If it was just the same thing day in and day out, land on a planet, look at some trees, look at some flowers, and then there's no animate life there or something like that, and then she got to go to the next planet. That she might get bored with that, I think.
Possibly.
Yeah.
But she certainly doesn't come across as really extroverted, though.
No. I wouldn't say she's an introvert, but she's not a total extrovert, that's for sure. She's probably in the middle somewhere, She certainly had no trouble going into Kansas bar and kicking those guys' butts. That would take a little bit of an extrovert to do something like that with no fear. So, she could definitely do that. So, anything else, guys? Now,
I'm half tempted to say, like, if characters in Gundam were like role-playing characters, what would they be? But that could be a future thing.
Well, think about it. Even us today. The job I do now is nothing like the job I did when I was a teenager, or when I was right out of college, or when I got out of graduate school and that stuff. I mean, your life changes over that whole span because, people can learn. She can do this. She's, like I say, she's not stupid. She's highly intelligent, and very intuitive. One thing I would say, though, that's where she probably wouldn't enjoy very much is if she worked in some kind of logistics capacity on a spaceship. I think that'd be too boring for her. She probably wouldn't like it. I mean, she could do it for sure, but I think she'd get bored with it pretty fast, having to make sure we got X number of containers of this substance over here, and we got all the food stuff for the crew over there, and we got enough water and stuff. She wouldn't. I think she'd get bored with that. I think.
I don't know. I worked maintenance for a while, and you have to. It takes a certain amount of capacity for just patience, because the vast majority of your time that you're on the rounds, there are no serious incidents. Yeah. It's that 10 to 15% where there actually is an incident. That's the challenge to be ready for, because you're just going for these periods of time where most of the system works.
Yeah.
Or appears to work smoothly.
Well, that's the whole thing. I think in maintenance, where she get to repair stuff, I think she would probably like that. She'd have to learn it like she would anything else, but I think she might like that, Anyway.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Some people just don't like the repetition.
Yeah, that's true.
But some people can just think about something while they're doing it, and I don't know.
Yeah.
It's what I used to do anyways.
Yep. So any other thoughts, guys? Okay, well, let's move on to the next one. And here we see her in the Creek's bar right here. I tried to make that as close to scale as I could because my head.
A great job.
My head actually comes up to, you see with that little triangle there with that's a flag in there. My head comes up to that level. So, I am that much taller than her as a person. I mean, she's 4'11". I'm 6'1". So, I mean, yeah, so that's about where I think she would be behind the bar, but I think she could definitely be a bartender, she could double as a bouncer too. If anybody came in there and started any crap, she would definitely could run them out of there, I think, without too much trouble, certainly she would have to learn how to mix drinks and that kind of thing, but she can definitely do it. I think I do think she can get along with people, which is what you'd have to be to be a bartender. I think that, she, for instance, when she was walking one of her early in the film and she happened upon that street motorball game, you remember she came out there, she was friendly, smiling at everybody, and she said hi to everybody and stuff like that. I think in that regard, she is a little bit outgoing, so I think that would suit her well, And I think her ability when she was helping Ito, to hand him the right tool and all, it tells me that she has that mental capacity to be able to remember what kind of contents goes into a particular drink. If it's, let's say, a Black Russian, or let's say a Sambuca milkshake, or a 151 Bushwhacker or something like that. I think she could remember that stuff and put it together. And in the meantime, be talking to people and enjoying it. Vladdy's out there. How's it going, Vladdy? So anyway, there's the Creek's niece there. She's, of course, there's nobody at the bar, so she's not talking to anybody. So, so anyway, but I think she could very well be a bartender, and of course, double as a bouncer, if anybody gets too frisky in there, that kind of thing. Okay, Finestro says when he comes to visit, he wants a drink at the Kansas bar. Well, Finn, if you ever get to the U.S., you ever come to Denver, Colorado, you make sure you let me know. Okay, we'll hook you up somehow. We'll see if we can mix you a drink there at the Kansas bar. Now, to be fair, the Creek doesn't really drink hard liquor anymore. I have from time to time. I mean, when I went to the national powerlifting thing in Las Vegas to celebrate, my strength coach and I had a couple of drinks. That's the first hard liquor drink I'd had in 5 years. So, but I've still got all that liquor up there, and we can definitely mix you a drink. So anybody come to Denver, just shoot me a DM. We'll work it out somehow.
Oh, great invitation! Thank you so much.
You bet. Yeah, Vladdy, you're right. We need to chat about the fundraiser and about what we're going to do. Charlie sent me a really long DM, about some of the stuff I'm going to try to use when I do the write-up. I haven't been able to talk to the guy at the LA Times yet because he's been out of town. I've sent him an email and I sent him a text, but I haven't heard anything. Now, he did respond to Charlie. So, and Charlie said he was excited about, getting that ad about Alita in the LA Times. So I think the skids are greased. We just got to make sure we make the connections, and that kind of thing. So, and we probably
also, just to add in, any one of you who's listening to this who has a community tab on YouTube, repost it. It makes it more visible.
Yeah, good point. And mandatory carries out there. How's it going? Okay. Yeah, lazy dinosaur print media. That's a good thing to say, Vladi. Yeah. Well, hopefully they'll even put it on their website. So maybe we get it. Get a 2-for-1 there. We'll see how that works. I still got to talk to him when he. I promise I'll get in touch with him on Monday. So, any thoughts about Alita as a bartender, Alejandro? What's your thoughts on her doing that?
Well, I think it's not the job for Alita.
Oh.
First of all, because it's a very close space, and she doesn't like that. She likes the open spaces, I think. So every day attending drunken people, she doesn't like the drunken people, no, and she doesn't like the people who has sexual harassment against the woman.
Yeah.
Either in that reason. So I think she could ending killing all the clients of the Kansas bar because they're all junkyard, drunken, born cyborgs in that society. I think it's not the right place for Alita, I think.
Well, I think she'd do it for Uncle Creek in the Kansas bar in Denver.
Maybe she can get the wine and the champagne and many other beverages, but like a delivery, getting how to get the bottles, but not to attend people in that place.
Well, she was. Now she's not in a civilian body there. Of course, that's just Hot Toys Alita that I kind of photoshopped into it. But I think she has the capacity to do it. I mean, like I say,
Sure.
She's not stupid. She can do it.
Absolutely right.
But
I
think
agree with you.
You might be right about her being kind of, I guess, impatient with people that drink too much and stuff like that. She may not. That might not be her thing, when she gets into that, but she certainly has the ability to do it, I think, Yeah, Jeff says, nice looking Kansas bar. Yeah, that's right, Jeff. I agree with you 100%. So.
I think she looks nice, but drinking with you, for instance, or with any other people, but not serving the drinks, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Well, yeah, maybe not, but I think she'd do it for her Uncle Creek. I think. So anyway, and Hybrid said, from astronaut to bartender, quite a leap. Quite a leap. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's that maybe after she does her astronaut thing, she wants to chill a little bit and become a bartender. I don't know. So, any other thoughts about that, guys? Okay, yeah, you're right, Jeff. Nice Kansas bar there, that's for sure. And of course, the bartender in that thing is nice looking too, isn't she? Don't. Oh, here's another thing about her being a bartender. Sometimes, a woman that's a bartender, they get hit on by guys. That'd be a mistake in this case. Somebody gets a little frisky with her. Yeah, they're not going to like that very much.
Well, remember my motivational poster. If she didn't slap you, she doesn't like you that much.
Yeah, that's right. Kind of like what she did with Chaos, in the manga, where he kind of gets a little too, basically he's groping her, and she slugs him. So I love that scene. That's pretty cool.
I think maybe she could work in a bar, but only for chocolate beverage. Okay, not for drinks.
Oh, you mean like it? Say, what's that? That ice cream place.
Is it? There was.
Oh, yes.
When I went to Arizona, they had not Cold Rock. What am I thinking about? Cold Stone. That's it.
Yeah, that one.
I don't know the name in USA.
There's Cold Stone Creamer. It was an ice cream place that I think is in a lot of the United States.
Sure.
Yeah, it was a good one there in Florida called the Creamery too. It had a lot of ice cream in it. Any of those, any of those places, you know, Ben and Jerry's. I guess they have a place too, but they mostly sell their stuff in
where my parents live in central Pennsylvania. There's a what's it called? I'm trying to remember it. It's another ice cream place. Briars. Oh, I forget.
Well, I think for sure I think any drink that have chocolate in it, she'd probably drink it before she gave it to the client. So anyway, that's the way that would work, or the customer rather. Okay, any other thoughts about the bartender? Here's one Angelus would get off on right here. Martial arts instructor. Yeah, she would be outstanding at this, I think. Well, I say outstanding. Being a good practitioner and being an instructor is a little different. Now, in her case, I think she is good with people, I think, at least in the movie. She has her moments in the manga. You know, sometimes she's good with people, sometimes she's not, you know. But, you know, I think particularly in Last Order, you know, where she had this drive to kind of help the people in Zalem, I guess, you know, when she got up there, you know, I think that would translate over real well to teaching people martial arts. Now, in the case of Panzerkunst, I'm not sure she could teach humans Panzerkunst, because that's a kind of that's a martial art, as of course, as Ito said, it was used by the berserkers, you know.
It's made for cyborgs specifically, yes. But there's other one, like Figure 4 uses Kappa, or there's
Space
what Cirilla Sanguis uses is just really experienced kung fu, or there's just mentally blowing cyborgs up like Chaos does in the end of the first series.
Yeah. Well, in Panzerkunst, you know, they have all those different techniques, you know, like bomb art and
I don't know, man. Blowing somebody up like Neo in the Matrix is kind of a lot more scary.
Well, that goes beyond martial arts, doesn't it, actually? But in terms of technique, you know, how to punch, how to kick, you know, how to block. Because, you know, she did that one scene in front of the mirror where she did the snakes creep down. That's a kung fu move right there. And that particular move was perfect. You know, I mean, so she knows martial arts and a lot of different styles, whether it's Panzerkunst or it's Taekwondo, or it's, you know, Kenpo karate, or it's Shotokan or Kyokushin karate, whatever. A lot of those have similar moves in them. You know, they do. A lot of them are similar. Certainly a punch is a punch is a punch, you know, a lot of times. You know, now in some styles they'll teach you a different way to hold your hand, stuff like that when you punch, you know, and how to hit with the knuckles, you know, not using the outside part of your hand and all that. But there's a limited number of ways to teach somebody how to punch, particularly on how they hold their hand, you know. Now, the techniques behind it can vary, and that's where I think she can, you know, she would know a lot of that stuff, you know, and she probably even knows space karate, because certainly she had to become somewhat familiar with it before she fought Toji, you know, so because he was a master at space karate. So, you know, so as a martial arts instructor, could you see her setting up, say, a dojo or a studio or something in Iron City and teaching the locals how to, you know, how to defend themselves, or say maybe teaching self-defense for women, you know, since those cyborgs are running around killing women, you know. So you think she could do that? Any thoughts?
Well, in the film, in fact, there is not so much elements to argument if he have the capability to transmit, to inform, or to train people. In fact, she is a great martial fighter, instinctive, because without any new training, any new practicing, she could kill two cyborgs with spectacular movements.
Yes.
That's in fact, but there is no so much elements to evaluate the capability to she can train another people. Maybe if another person follows his movement, like the kickboxing movement in front of the
Yeah.
mirror at night, something like that.
Yeah.
But maybe some kind of training, like making some exercises of the movement, something like that. But maybe she doesn't have the training to be a great master to communicate with another people. That I think. But maybe the manga, you have more information and have the capability to she can train another people in martial arts.
Well, I do think that in the manga, I don't recall seeing her doing a lot of that. I would say though
in the beginning of the Berserker Japan arc, she was showing basic defense techniques, just some others. But this wasn't really very specific.
Yeah, that's right.
Technique.
Well,
she was explaining about how you put pressure on the knuckles and not the wrist when trying to force someone to drop a knife.
Yeah. That definitely is in the manga. Another thing though about the training people too is like in the movie, she was second in command to Gelda. At least that's the impression I got when they were going up that supply tube. So she's got to have some leadership skills, because you can't be second in command of a squad or a platoon like that without some ability to lead others. And if you can do that, that can, I'm not saying it does every time, but that can translate over into being an instructor. So, and I think that coupled with what Chaos said about how she was teaching some of the locals there in Iron City some basic self-defense moves. Yeah, I think she could do this. And I think she has the capacity. I mean, and two, while she would be training them and going through the movements with them, I think she would see that as a delicious thing. I think she would eat that up. I think it would just be something she would just love doing. And you could probably see it on her face while she's doing it too.
Well, you mentioned, I think the thing that we can check the leadership of Alita, managing people and motivating people is in the Kansas bar, in fact.
Yeah.
And she is the thing that she chose to the society of the capability that she have fighting with everyone in that place. And in that way, I think she gets like a mentor or like the coach of a bunch of people to follow her for a very specific objective or a target. I think she had the motivation force in her character to move the people and to integrate it in some actions, I think.
Yeah. Finestro brings up some German there. Du bist ein Künstler Sensei. You are a Panzer Künstler, or that means artist, armor art master or teacher. That's basically what that is. But Angelus, but I see that Finestro was actually laughing about one thing because Angelus said Guten Tag, Alita Frau. Actually, I think what Angelus meant to say was Guten Tag, Alita Freund, which would be friend, because Frau is like Mrs. So Alita Mrs.
Right.
So but anyway, it's another story. But Angelus's heart was in the right place. So anyway, that's what counts. So anyway, what do you think she would be? Do you think she would be good at philosophy? Because particularly in Eastern, martial arts always has some philosophical aspect to it. Or do you think she would just be into the, hey, here's how you throw a correct way to throw a punch. Here's a correct way to throw a kick. Here's how you do an outward block, an inward block. an upward block, that kind of thing. Do you think she would be better at that, or do you think she would know a little bit of philosophy that would teach?
She asks a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Sure.
Kind of like the moment she asked about Destinova, and it's just like Destinova's a mad dog, he has to go.
Yeah. Yeah, she's
stop asking me about it. Just get him.
Yeah, she might not be so heavy on the philosophical side, I think. But she would be a very good
it's just a time. It's just a times and places thing. It's just like you got to go get him. Don't ask me questions.
But I know I agree with you that she's more than for that technical aspect like movement or how to get the force in that way or another, because she's remembering in every confrontation with Grewinska some aspects, and in the Kansas bar she remembers the very famous mantra like I don't stand by in the front of evil. So I think she can remember maybe another kind of very philosophical and religious or spiritual aspects of the combat that maybe she can get all these training that she has received, and she's recovering, confronting people in different situations. So I think it could be in that way. It could be a great sensei of martial arts.
Well, what I do think about her, I kind of agree with Mandatory Carry here that, she's too much of a soldier, for the philosophy stuff. Although I would say she probably would know some, but my thing would be with her is that she, even though she has her moments, and I think you guys have all heard me say that, if you piss her off or something, she'll go sideways on you in a heartbeat, but I do think she's basically a good person, and I think she would want you not to use anything she trained you on for evil or, for the detriment of others or whatever. I think that would be her overriding goal. Now, would she spend a lot of time on, the wild boar and the tiger not fighting each other and all that stuff? And why is that? Why does the wild boar run from the tiger? He's not afraid, but he's running because like the tiger, they both love life and stuff like that. So anyway, I don't know she'd be into that level of philosophy, but I do think she would want you to not use what she would train you for evil. I think that, but that might be the depth as far as she goes with it. I think, because I kind of agree with Mandatory Carry. She is definitely a soldier, so. Any other thoughts about our girl being a martial arts instructor? Now, one thing about martial arts too, and I think Angelus would agree with this, you learn a style and that's good and all that kind of stuff. But when you start, fighting others, like sparring, or let's say, because, if she's going to be a gladiator, of course, it's going to be different. But, if it's sparring, like she goes to a tournament, she's going to see other techniques, and she's going to say, she may already know a lot of those techniques, but she may see a technique that she hasn't learned yet. And I think that would excite her. I think she would say, oh, wow, that's great. I got to learn that. I think that would be definitely part of her makeup, and I kind of like agree with Angelus that, yeah, she can adapt to, different environments and different styles. I think if she saw a technique, I don't think it would take her very long to kind of get highly proficient at it. If she just saw it once, she probably would be able to execute that technique, pretty effectively, I think. But I think what I'm saying is I think she would be excited to see a technique that she had never seen before. I think she would just be, she'd just be gaga about it, and she'd be like happy about it, myself. By the way, if anybody wants to come on the stream, there's the link. All you gotta do is click on it.
One question, Creek.
Yeah.
In the scene at night when she remembers the flash of her life in the moon, and she starts
Yeah.
practicing in front of the mirror. I think there are different styles, like karate movement, kickboxing, maybe.
Yeah. Well, in that particular scene of the mirror punch scene, she actually did, a couple of kung fu moves, and she did a chain punch, which is, you see that in several styles, and I guess Bruce Lee loved doing that thing. Of course, that chain punch in the movie, that was a tribute to Bruce Lee, because I remember Rosa or someone in an interview was saying that's why they did that. That's a
Oh yes,
karate move, and
she was a double
yeah.
of what another girl, right? Who
Well, here's the thing too, though. On the moon, like you mentioned, Alejandro, you remember on the moon, she actually did a hip throw.
Mhm.
That could be either jujitsu or Brazilian jiu-jitsu, or it could just be wrestling. I mean, so probably Panzer Kuntz probably it, and I think Ray brought. I mean, not Ray, Maxie brought this up one time before, that that Panzer Kuntz. I think I remember him saying once on a stream that the guy that invented Panzer Kuntz, and he's in chapter 8 of the Mars Chronicle, which I got to read that thing. But anyway, he kind of took a lot of these movements and put them together like that, and incorporated them into Panzer Kuntz. So yeah, she probably learned a lot of extra moves on that. So it's not just that Panzer Kuntz is like karate. It's got some karate moves in it, but it's probably got some jujitsu moves in it. It's probably got some boxing in it. You know, certainly when she beat the crap out of Romo, that was ground and pound. That's just MMA right there. That's just being brutal, actually. So yeah, I think you're right about that.
Sure. For instance, the movements in the fight against Nisiana were amazing. The way that she jump in the air and get the kick on the face
Yeah,
over the wall is absolutely great. And the same time that she jump with the rocket hammer against Grewinska,
yeah,
he almost fly like a bird because she jumps to a very high altitude, altura, and get the punch. I think that movement without any training, that is what she is remembering, and her hair movement, in the movement with the body,
yeah,
get
yeah.
all the she needs in the exactly way and the very precise movement to get the result that she needs.
Yeah. Well, I agree, because like you mentioned on those kicks, that flying side kick she did on Romo, I estimated that she flew 30 feet through the air to execute that kick. And when she kicked Nisiana, when she jumped up, like you said, when Nisiana jumped at her, she probably jumped 15 feet. When she landed her against that wall and jumped back, that was probably around 15 feet. Humans can't do that. And that, of course, a lot of that's is a part of her body. Her cyborg body has more strength. You know, uh, Hybrid brings up one thing about philosophy, and when we were talking about philosophy a while ago, I'm not talking about her mindset. I mean, her mindset. If you remember, Ito told her that she was part of her training. She's drawn to conflict. That is a mental state. That, in other words, some people might see danger and they flinch, or they're afraid almost to the point of freezing up or something like that. In her case, her training, which had to include the mental training, like you're bringing up there, Hybrid, she's drawn to it. I mean, for her, that kind of a fighting type of thing is kind of it's kind of like, it's delicious. It's like we're going to eat ice cream or something, because you notice when Grishka said, "Come here, little flea, so I can pinch your head off." She didn't hesitate, did she? She ran right at him. So I mean, that takes kind of a mental state of mind, or a mental, kind of a, you know, more of a sort of a framework in your mind itself of how you think about fighting or defending yourself or whatever. Because remember, she was also defending Ito too, by the way, and there was just a reaction to it. You have to be trained to that. You don't sit down and you think about, well, I think if I execute this kick here and I hold my leg exactly like this, that now I can take his arm off or something like that. She didn't do that. She's already had this ingrained in her, and she can just execute it instinctively. And to
Yes,
do that
right,
also,
right.
yeah, she has to have that mental mindset to be able to pull that off, as opposed to being scared into kind of a inactivity. So anyway,
Sure, good point.
that's a good point, Hybrid, for sure. So yeah, when we're mandatory carry says, nah, I'm going to start a fight. Yeah, she kind of did that in the Kansas bar, didn't she? So there wasn't a lot of philosophy in that one. So you're right, mandatory carry. That's yeah, you're pretty spot on that one, But what I was talking about when she was fighting Gorwishka, there was no analyzing anything. She didn't analyze. She didn't analyze the situation. She just instinctively reacted, and that takes training. I mean, certainly you're going to react. Anybody will react, but for her to react the way she did, that's going to require training.
Well, reactions are trained.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So, and it does. That does take some measure of some. I don't know if it's philosophy, but I would say kind of a mental training itself on not being afraid or accomplishing an objective or something like that.
You just have a memory of what you've done. It's hard to explain.
Yeah. Oh, Finistro brings up a good thing. He was an MMA fighter for 3 years, and everything starts in your head. That's exactly right. That is totally right. If your head's not in the right place, you're done. That's just the way it works. So.
But the point amazing in the film is that the head is the point of the start of this martial arts. But the amazing thing is the doll body that was designed for another kind of activities. The doll body responds to the requirements of the movement that Alita needs in the fight.
Yeah.
So I think she, in another things, or maybe in another arcs of the history in the film that is not showing. For that reason, Hugo mentioned to Alita that if I were as strong as you, I would climb up to Salem.
Yes.
Because she developed a very great strength with a very small and delicate body, but with the mind and with the heart of the core, with the antimatter reactor, I think it's a very, very strong combination to
Yes.
she can develop and transmit of the technicals and the special movement of the martial art to the small body.
Yes. Oh, by the way, Chaos had to leave. He sent a text in a private chat. I didn't kick him out or anything. So everybody, if you think I kicked him out, I didn't. So he had to leave. So anyway, but yeah, you're right, Alejandro. One other thing I would say about her mental state too, and this is not a philosophy thing, but this is more of if you remember, she started getting these flashbacks of her fighting and being on the moon and stuff like that when she was in a dangerous situation. That tells me that she has some very deeply ingrained, kind of predisposition in her brain that just is there. It's hidden, and when she got into those physical situations like that, that's when her brain, popped into gear, I guess, and it's like a couple of times when she was fighting, particularly when she took out Romo and Nisiana with ease, she kind of turned around and had that look on her face like, what the hell did I just do? Like she wasn't expecting, she didn't expect to be able to do that, I guess, or something. And she did it, and that's what I mean about this being ingrained in that mental part, that it requires, her getting in that dangerous situation brings those memories to the forefront. And that tells me that's where that deep-seated training, that's when it kind of manifests itself, so.
Sure, I am agree with you. I think that training is part of the herself, her brain. Her brain gets some memory for the very strong situations, and it's not like a chip of memory, like a computer or
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah,
It's something that is inside of her. It's part of herself.
yes,
So I think it's more intimate relation between that kind of Archer Mark with her own life, I think.
yeah. Well, if you remember, she told Ito too that when they were standing in front of that kiosk and they were trying to find Grishka, see if he had a bounty on him, she told him that she might need a life or death situation to remember who she was, even for just a second. Wow, that right there speaks a lot about, how her, that instinctive, uh, mindset, or that instinctive, those very deep seated memories are in there. Her training when she was in the military must have been one hellacious type of training. Boy, it must have been super tough and very, it made a huge impression on her, and just kind of just settled into her psyche. That's probably the way they trained all those berserkers, at least in the IP, they trained them all like that, probably.
And as Dr. Eden mentioned, she's got the spirit of the warrior because she needs that kind of body too. So it's more spiritual. It's some of the sense of the main Alita, I think.
Yeah. Oh, I would say one thing too to Angelus too about that bottleneck or response time between her cyber body and her flesh and blood brain. If you remember, there was that scene. I actually calculated what her reaction time was, based on the muzzle velocity. Now I estimated the muzzle velocity of that Centurion firing that 100 caliber gun at her, whatever that thing was. And assuming that she was approximately 30 feet from him, and the way that the muzzle velocity is probably around 2,900, 3,000 feet per second, something like this. She had to react to that within 10 milliseconds to be able to deflect that bullet like that. So that tells me that her core is deeply integrated into her flesh and blood brain. That tells me that there is not much of a reaction time at all. Probably most of her reaction time would be her muscles, but her brain itself and her core interpreting that was, who knows how fast that was. That could have been nanoseconds. I have no idea, but her muscles probably reacted as fast as they possibly could. But I know I did that calculation, and her reaction time is like 20 times faster than a human's, and she had to have that fast reaction time like that to be able to deflect that bullet in the movie. Now, when she's in her Imaginos body, her reaction time is stupid fast. I mean, it's on the order of picoseconds, because if you're, like, say, if you're running near the speed of light, if you don't have that kind of reaction, you're going to run through stuff. Now it may not make any difference to you if you run through it, but if you want to miss it, you got to have just stupid fast reactions to do that. So Of course, she's not in her Imaginos body there. She's in her Berserker body. So I would say that her reaction time would probably be anywhere from, say, 3 to 10 milliseconds, you know. So that's stupid fast, you know, I mean, really.
A very good estimation of response
Well,
time.
I kind of calculated it, you know, because I had to look up, you know, what the muzzle velocity was on a comparable gun, you know, on a military style Gatling gun, stuff like that, you know. So, and it's all estimates for sure, you know. I mean, it's they didn't tell us exactly what that gun was. We just know it was on that big robotic Centurion, you know. But there you have it. So, but anyway, those reactions would translate over into martial arts too, because her punch is going to be extremely fast. Now, she can't teach that speed to a human, but she can still teach the technique, you know. So, okay, anything else about her being a martial arts instructor?
It's okay.
Cool. Oh yeah, she can be a musician, can't she?
Yes, and can be, Craig.
Oh yeah. Yeah, in the manga, you know, she does. She plays keyboards in the Kansas bar, you know.
My piano way, I guess.
And she sings too. She can sing. So, you know,
I sing some karaoke maybe.
yeah. Yeah, I think she could do that. And she was in her civilian body when she did this. So you know, I think she could definitely do it. I mean, certainly, you know, she at one point, remember, she had her own apartment, and you know, I remember seeing a picture of her apartment. It's kind of messy. Yeah, and that's right, Angela. She does play the harmonica. We know that when she's going out to the Badlands and she meets Figure 4 and Yog on that atomic train. That, you know, she was playing the harmonica there. So she does have a musical sense about her, you know, for sure, you know. So now she didn't do this very long, so I don't know. I can't quite remember. Angelus, it's too bad you're not on the stream because you'd probably be able to tell us. But you know, she kind of stopped doing that music thing, I guess, when she did play the harmonica going into the Badlands on the train. But after that, I don't recall seeing her playing any musical instrument. So, okay, Angelus just sent me a picture in DMs. So let's see what that's all about. Yeah, let me pull that up. You guys see that?
Oh yes, sure.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, she's she can play, man. There's no doubt about it. You know. Of course, she was known as the Angel of Death in that thing. So in Figure 4, you know, he's kind of a dumbass, I guess. He approaches her, you know, approaching the Angel of Death. You know, that's yeah, I don't know about that one. I don't know how smart that was, but you know, anyway, it worked out for him, I guess. So, at least in the short run. So yeah, thanks a lot, Angelus. We appreciate that.
And did you know something in the manga? Some kind of what kind of music she plays, like melodies or something rhythm, or I don't know. Is there any information about that?
I'm not sure what kind of music it was. Of course, we see that in that artist rendition on the right there. She's playing rock, I guess. That's kind of a variation of that song by AC/DC, Thunderstruck. And she says Künstler struck instead. You know, so that's rock right there. On the left, I'm not sure what that is. You know, it kind of looks like what is on her right, you know, with the two levels of keyboards. That looks like what used to be called in '70s, they had that thing called the Moog synthesizer. It kind of looks like that to me. And then, of course, what's in front of her is just a regular keyboard, I guess. So, hey, if she can play the piano like she's doing right there, that's it's a synthesizer keyboard. That's exactly right. Yeah, that's right. Finestro. I'm not sure it's Junkie XL there. You're right. That's Alita Borg or Alita XL or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, for sure.
Well,
DJ.
the point is that
Oh, go ahead, and Alejandro.
yes. Well, the point is that the only music instrument in the movie is the Jamaican man playing the guitar with
Yeah.
two arms.
Yeah.
I don't remember another instrument. Do
Yeah.
you?
No, there wasn't any. The only other musical thing I saw in there was the jukebox. Certainly anybody can play that. But I'm talking about the manga here. That panel on the left is right out of the manga. So she played in a Kansas bar, and after, I guess, Gruishka or Makaku rather actually kind of trashed the place a little bit. I guess they rebuilt it, and she kind of helped out a little bit by playing music, and people would come here play and stuff like that. So she didn't do that very long in the manga, but that tells me that somebody's got an alarm going off there. So.
Yes, sorry, my alarm.
So, but to play the piano and to play a synthesizer keyboard like that, you've got to be accomplished at it. So she's a good musician, I think. In the manga, not the movie. The movie,
Okay.
we don't get any sense. We don't have any sense that she can play anything except the Damascus blade. She can play that one, but that's not a musical instrument. So,
well, the point is, Creek is only in the Kansas bar scene is the only thing that the rock and roll music sounds in the movie. And the rock and roll goes very well with the action movie in that way.
yes,
And the guitars, the solos of guitar in metallic guitar goes with very well with the cyber feeling of the metallic parts of the people in there.
yeah,
I think the action in the sequel of Alita with rock and roll could be great because have the power and the strong sounds like metallic sounds like the body of the persons in there.
yes, yeah. Well, it did fit pretty well. You're right about that. Also when they walked into the bar, and the music they were playing when they were all fighting, it matched perfectly, So, we don't know where that music was coming from unless it was, well, certainly it's background music, for the movie. But maybe from in the movie itself, maybe it's from the jukebox or something. I don't know, because I didn't see a band or anything in there.
Sure, and the point is in the CD of the film, that melody is not included because it wasn't composed by Tom Hockenborg. It's only
Yeah.
for orchestra music, but it was another group that create that melody for the Kansas bar fight.
Yeah. Yeah. It was done by somebody else. That's right. So, yeah, if anybody knows who did those two pieces, let us know. If you can put it in the chat. Angelus, have you been to Ramstein? Wow, I didn't know that. No, I don't think Angelus has been out of Australia. Actually, maybe he has. So,
I think it's some like American melody. I think maybe.
yeah,
And
perhaps.
I think the Motorball themes with rock and roll music goes very well.
Yes.
I was thinking maybe, for instance, songs like Master of Puppets of Metallica goes very well with the fight in the Motorball second league player. I think it goes great. And another melody that maybe you remember in your time of the young boy, the burnt
Yeah.
of this group, this purple. Maybe you remember
Deep Purple. Yeah, I remember them. Yeah. Machine Head. Yeah, I
Machine
remember.
Head.
Yeah.
They got a song with the name is Burned.
Yeah.
You can check it in the you can check it in YouTube.
Was
It's
another one called
great music.
well, there's another one
Sorry?
called Smoke on the Water too that was good. So
Oh, Smoke on the Water, right? Yes.
yeah, that was good.
Or Child on Time too.
Yeah.
So that
Now,
kind of music go very well.
yeah, well, Alita, if she can play that keyboard, both those keyboards, she probably could play those songs. She probably could. You know, I mean, it'd be a keyboard version of it, obviously, but she could play it. It also tells me she's probably got a good ear for music because I don't see any music sheets of music on that keyboard. You know, so she's probably got. Well, certainly she can remember the song like a lot of humans can, but she probably has a really good ear, for notes and stuff like that. So
I'm sure, and I can't wait. In imagine the sequel, checking Alita singing like Rosa Salazar in Andan 2, singing with her sister Becca.
yeah, 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 yeah,
She sings very well. I like it very much. That little song.
yeah. I would. It'd be kind of cool to see Rosa sing in the Kansas bar as Alita. That would be nice.
And playing the piano
Yeah.
too.
Oh, can she
Sure.
Can she play the piano,
Well,
Rosa?
I don't think so, but she get the movement with the fingers and with the
Yeah.
rotoscope. They introduced the piano in the series of Andan.
Yes. Yep.
Yes, but well, in a little sequel, I think it's going to do something similar. But the point is to hear the wonderful voice of Alita singing with Rosa. I think would be marvelous.
Oh, you were talking about when Rosa or Alma, rather, when Alma went back to see her grandmother, right? And they were both sitting at that piano, right? Remember she was time traveling. Remember that?
No, it was in the second episode of the second season that she's with the sister. Remember the song they sung when she were very young.
Yes.
Uh, the Rainbow Song, I think it was
Yeah,
the
the
title
Rainbow
of the
Song.
song.
Yeah. Well,
Yes,
yeah, but she also though. Remember, she went back to that I guess mental hospital or something, wherever that facility was, where her grandmother was. Remember, and she was sitting at that piano, and her grandmother comes in. And she was a younger version, I mean, she was time traveling, and she was playing the Rainbow Song, and she told her grandmother that she would teach that to her mother or
ah,
something
yes,
like that.
sure, yes,
Yeah,
that's right. You
yeah,
are right. Yes,
yeah,
yes. When she traveled in time with the grandmother in the mental hospital,
yeah. That's right.
playing the
Yeah.
same song, the Rainbow
Yep.
Song,
Yep.
with a beautiful voice. I love it, the voice so much.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. She's got a great voice. So anyway,
Sure.
Alita as a musician, I think that's something she can do, but I'm not sure that would keep her attention that long, though. I mean, as it didn't in the manga. She was very short period of time that she was a musician. So, any other thoughts about her being a musician, guys? Okay, this one I kind of just put in there as a joke. Could she be a pirate? Well, a space pirate, maybe. But of course, she's dressed up in the garb that Captain Jack Sparrow had. I think she looks better than Captain Jack Sparrow for sure. Uh, but could she be a pirate? Well, I know one thing in the manga: she has her moments, and she could definitely. I guess if she in some of her worst moments, could she be a pirate? I think maybe. but I think she's got too strong. She's probably got too strong a streak of good in her to do that for very long. Now, like I've said before, she has her dark times. And when she was in the Badlands, she was in her dark times a lot. But I think basically as a person, I'm not sure she could do this for very long. Yeah, Captain Alita, yeah. Yeah, for sure. So anyway, I just put this in there for a joke. We can move right off of this one if you want.
Well, but maybe if she organized a bunch of guys to fight against the people of the factory or something like that, to destroy some centurions, or maybe something in that way.
Yeah, maybe she could do something like that, or be a privateer, where she would be hired by a government to do piracy. So Finestro, this is real good. Pirates of the Erm. Yeah, that's right. That's a good one, Finestro. Yeah.
But I think the pirate image with the armed image of the wearer with Alita, I think it not goes very well. I think they are opposite warriors. One is very good training with an army, and another is a special of chaos.
Yes.
Fighting against some organization.
I think she could do that. Yeah, she could definitely do that. Yeah.
Undoubtedly.
Yep. She could definitely do that. All right, I guess we can move off of this one. I just put this in there for a little bit of a comedy, I guess. What about this one? Being a waitress or a server. I guess waitress is an old term. Server, I guess.
For me, it's impossible. No. I don't see Alita serving food and attending that kind of junkyard, drunken cyber punks.
Well,
impossible.
This could be in a restaurant. It doesn't have to be in a bar, Yeah, that's right. Angela said Hooters. Yeah, yeah, maybe. I guess
I don't think so. I don't think so. She's going to be very bored in that kind of repetitive work. I don't see her in that work.
Well, the thing of it is, this would be similar to being the musician thing. I think she might enjoy it in the short run, because I think she can get along with people and stuff like that. But I guess I agree with you. I think it's going to be, it's not going to be enough thrill, or it's not going to be enough action or whatever. That she's not going to stick with that. If she did this at all, it wouldn't stick with her very long. And by the way, I wanted to just say one thing. I didn't know they had Hooters there in Australia, Angelus. Maybe they do. So, Space Hooters. That's good for Nestro. Yeah, they're getting pretty frisky there in the chat, I think.
I think Alita is going to use this turkey against a cyborg, throwing that very big meat against another.
Probably ram it on top of his head. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so anyway, this is another one I put in there for a little lightheartedness, I think. So, okay, did we miss anything, guys?
Well, this is a very, very interesting discussion, I think. Very original. Congratulations, Creek. Very interesting.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I could talk for hours about Alita, that's for sure. I would say about Alita on any of these things, I think she has the capacity in terms of mentally to do any of this stuff. I mean, like we've said in the past, you know, certainly she's a very intuitive person, but she's very intelligent. She's not stupid. You know, I think she could do any of these jobs if you want to think of them as a job, you know. Now, will she like them all? That's another story. You know, she won't, you know, maybe she won't be able to stick with, you know, like being a bartender. She may not be able to stick with that very long, you know. So, you know, but you know, she's not dumb. She can do it, you know.
Sure.
She probably find something better though. That's the whole thing, you know. So, and of course, as you see in the middle there, I think she could be a bartender at Uncle Creek's bar because she loves her Uncle Creek. So, and if you have any issue with that, I wouldn't confront her with it because she's got that plasma weapon. So anyway. Yeah, I think no, I think Alejandro and I, and probably Stefani, we all agree, no, she's not going to be able to do that job of waitress very long at all. I think she's going to get bored with it, you know.
Only maybe she can serve some food for Ido in response that
Oh yeah,
she get the food for her brain, like in the first
yeah,
scene, something like that, or maybe to share some food with Nurse Gerhard or Hugo or people of the scrimmage. But as you mentioned, like something very specific, maybe for a birthday. Or maybe for some specific congratulation for anything. But in fact, for a continuous job, I have
yeah,
very strong doubts.
yeah. I do too. I think she is best suited to be a hunter warrior or to be a motorball player, you know, or a Zot competitor, you know. Certainly, I think that's going to be her forte. You know, I think that's where she'll stick with that a lot longer. Now, she didn't stick with the motorball thing that long, did she? I mean, she did get through the third league, I guess, in the manga, and she did get through the second league in the movie. So she had to stick with it many months for that, you know. But she's definitely more suited to a more physical oriented type of action type of job, you know, if you want to think of it. So.
Sure.
Okay, so anyway, just moving on here, I guess there's our queen right there, and that she's a great actor. I think I think she doesn't get her just uh, appreciation, or you know, she's not. I just think people underestimate her. Maybe I wouldn't say underestimate, but I think certainly in the future I could see big things for her, you know, in terms of, you know, getting, who knows, maybe even get an Oscar one day, or if she gets on TV, an Emmy or something like that. So,
And we are waiting her first work with Disney in the wedding season series. I can't wait to see that series. I think
oh,
it's
I got to
marvelous.
see that. Yeah, I got to see that too. I think, you know, yeah.
Hmm. That
Okay.
maybe could be that could be the door maybe for the sequel to incline to the movement for the directive of Disney to consider the sequel, maybe for the successful of wedding season series, maybe. I
Yeah.
hope.
Well, if it's like other stuff, if it's anything like other stuff she's done, she's a good actor, you know. I mean, it's gonna be good. I'm sure the story, she's probably gonna do her character justice, you know, that type thing, you know.
He's
And of
very
course,
versatile actress. So many different TV series, different kind of characters in different movies. It's absolutely marvelous.
yep. And of course, as the Creek has said in the past, it doesn't hurt that she's pretty either. That doesn't hurt at all.
No doubt about it.
So, any other thoughts, guys, about our queen or about the topic or anything about Alita?
Hmm.
Yeah, Angelus, she gets 5 hearts. Lately, I've been putting 4 hearts in one of those little guy, that little emoji, the guy's in love. He's got 3 little hearts around his face. I've been putting that on lately. So I've evolved from the 4 hearts. Now she gets more than that. So, and yeah, she is pretty. Mandatory carry, that's for sure. So, Angela says she's easy on the eyes, and he gives her 300 hearts. Okay.
909.
99 hearts or something. Yeah, that's right.
Sure.
Okay. Anyway, just to kind of tell you about what's going to be going on at Radio Chaos tomorrow on episode 129. We're going to talk about, who are your top 5 maids, and as Maxie would say, Gumu. I like to say Gunham. And then why? You know what? I bet you Alita's going to be number 1. Now, is Alita a maid? No, but I bet that's going to come up. I bet it is. But so she'll be number 1, even though she's not a maid for sure. So anyway, join us for Radio Chaos next week. I think that's going to be or tomorrow rather. I think that's going to be a really neat stream. And just to remind everybody is that, remember, we got this fundraiser. I put the link down in the description. So, we want to try to get, the Alita Day fundraiser and to promote her for a sequel and stuff like this. We want to do that in the LA Times. The reason why we picked the Times, of course, is it's right there where Disney is. We want them to see it, that the Alita Army is still here and we are still making noise. So we want them to know that, so, and certainly they'll see it if we can pull this off. So anyway, get into that. And, if you can, no amount is going to be too small. We're going to appreciate everything you give, anything you donate for the cause of Alita,
Great.
Okay, to wrap things up, why is this image here? Well, we know why that image is here. That image is there because the Creek likes it, and he's running the stream. So anyway, and to paraphrase Gowishka, I am only here for our girl. And we are all here for our girl and the Alita Army. So any last thoughts, Alejandro or Safani Sung? Any last thoughts at all?
Please continue with your excellent work, and I love to support the Alita Army, and I liked that the way that Rosa Salazar mentioned Alita Army in some interviews in the last one.
Yeah.
I think was great. I think you have win a very specific space in the mental of the people of this kind of arts, like the cinema and TV series. And I think the weight of Alita Army is very important. So very, very, very good work you have done.
Well, Rosa, she knows all of us. She knows us. She knows we're here, and she knows we're behind her,
Yeah, I've seen the movie many times since last year, 2019, many times. I've seen the movie. It came out on my birthday last year, 2019, before my dad passed away.
Yep.
Yeah, because I haven't bought the movie since last year, 2 years. I didn't remember it. I wish I had a book.
Well, it's like you say, from 2019, that's 3 years, like saying she's still on board. So is Cameron, and so is Rodriguez. There's the 3 of them still want to do a sequel.
They want to do an Avatar first in the movie first, and Vision Avatar.
Well, Cameron wants to do that Avatar. That's for sure. And by the way, I think that Avatar 2 is going to be man, that thing's going to go nuts. That thing is going to be. That's going to be super, I think. Just judging from the trailer, that thing's going to go bonkers, man. I think it's going to, I guess Maxie wants or thinks it's going to clear $2 billion. You know what? After seeing the trailer, that may be. It may happen. So could be. Yeah, Finestro, we definitely need an Alita sequel. And Yeah, mandatory carry. I think it's down in the description. Let me see if I can pull it up again, though. I'm not sure I have it. Let's see. Where do I have that? Maybe I do. Let's see. Yeah, I do. Here it is right here. Just do this. I'm going to put that in the link here. I'll put that rather in the chat. So there it is right there. Oh, Angelus thinks that Avatar is going to make $3 billion. Boy, that'd be great if that happened. So anyway, yeah, and that's right, Lee. We're trying to get that money for the LA Times. The Creek's going to put a bunch of money into it, but we're going to raise some. We're going to just give everybody a chance. So anyway, and of course, there's the link right there. No problem, mandatory carry. I put that in some time ago, so it's understandable if you missed it. So no big deal, no problem at all. Okay, any last thoughts, Alejandro or Safani Sung?
Last thoughts. I'm very happy. I'm very happy with these live streams. To share all the thoughts and possibilities, and to imagine so many aspects of Alita and so many questions, so many mysteries that they are in her world that give us a very special joy for our hearts talking about this character that I love.
Cool. Safani Sung, you got any last thoughts?
Because I'm seeing a sequel in part 2. I see like a tears and a sequel in the movie. I think so. I wish I could go in the sequel and her left her in Berserker body maybe.
Yeah, I want to see that sequel too. I don't know about that Berserker body thing. I hope they give that back to her.
She won't reheal himself, herself.
Yeah.
Her energy, her body, maybe.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I guess that kind of wraps it up. And I guess, like we say every week, we want to do our call to action. And on my count of 3, we will do this. And that would be 1, 2, 3. Film those sequels, baby. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow on Radio Chaos stream, and we'll see you next week on the Alita Livestream.
Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
See you tomorrow.
What's up, Alita Army? This is Hot Toys Alita, and I hope you enjoyed this week's Alita Livestream. Please join my Uncle Creek, Angelus, and our other guests for next week's show. Remember, I do not stand by in the presence of evil, and film those sequels, baby. See you next time.